Hello and welcome back to Newsline, brought to you by People's TV. In today's news commentary, we bring you the latest developments from the Middle East that point to a potential strike against Iran by the United States of America. Yesterday, Israel successfully secured the return of its last remaining hostage. Analysts believe this moment marks the beginning of two major and consequential operations now taking shape. The first is a decisive campaign to dismantle Hamas in the Gaza Strip, aimed not only at eliminating the terror group but also at liberating Gazans from its grip. The second, far more significant in scope, is the anticipated effort to bring an end to the Khamenei regime, with the objective of freeing Iran from its current tyrannical and oppressive rule. Developments in the Middle Eastern region increasingly suggest that a U.S. strike on Iranian soil may be imminent. Earlier this morning, reports confirmed that an RC-135 Watts rivet joint, also known in the United Kingdom as Airseeker, was airborne. This aircraft is a premier Joint Signals Intelligence (SIGINT) platform operated by the United States Air Force and the British Royal Air Force. Experts emphasize that the deployment of the RC-135 Watts represents one of the final preparatory steps before a military strike. The aircraft is not an attack platform, nor is it a stealth bomber. It is a specialized intelligence-gathering aircraft that is only deployed when its capabilities are considered absolutely essential. Its mission includes intercepting communications, identifying radar systems, detecting and analyzing communication and radar jammers, observing missile movements and missile-related activity, and relaying all collected intelligence to command centers in real time. Analysts note that such aircraft are not routinely used unless operational planning has reached an advanced and critical stage. By this morning, President Donald J. Trump had been briefed by intelligence agencies that the Ayatollah regime has been significantly weakened from within. As we have stated earlier, suppressing the general public through force and gunfire cannot contain the situation indefinitely, regardless of how aggressively the regime attempts to do so. Such repression only accelerates internal decay, and the regime is ultimately destined to collapse from within. While the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, continues to stand by the regime, it is steadily losing both international backing and domestic support inside Iran. This erosion of legitimacy, combined with growing internal instability, has further exposed the regime's vulnerability at this critical stage. At the same time, Iran is actively preparing for the possibility of war. The regime has begun upgrading its naval capabilities in anticipation of a potential attack. This includes efforts to modify and repurpose oil tankers into naval combat vessels, effectively turning civilian maritime assets into improvised warships. Iran is also planning to deploy this naval strength along its southern coastline, signaling a shift in its defensive posture. Previously, Tehran's primary focus was on expanding and strengthening its missile arsenal. However, following the 12-day standoff with Israel in June, Iran has adjusted its priorities. While missile capabilities remain an important component of its strategy, the regime is now placing greater emphasis on preventing a potential ground invasion, reflecting growing concern over direct military confrontation rather than purely long-range deterrence. Now let us examine Israel's preparations for a potential war. Reports indicate that Israel is preparing to activate a secret operational protocol. So far, the State of Israel has not issued any public warnings to its population. This is most likely because a US-led strike would rely heavily on surprise, and issuing early alerts could compromise that strategic advantage. There is growing speculation that Israeli citizens may only be warned after hostilities have already begun. Some sources further suggest that even within the Israel Defense Forces, full operational details may be disclosed only at the very last moment. Such compartmentalization would align with a strategy designed to preserve secrecy, limit information leaks, and maintain the element of surprise at every level. President Trump's behavior over the past few days appears to reinforce this assessment. His responses to questions from journalists have been notably brief and guarded, suggesting a deliberate effort to avoid revealing operational intentions. Such restraint is often associated with periods immediately preceding major military actions. At the same time, Israel is reportedly maintaining confidential communications with airline companies, assuring them of safe exit corridors in the event that war breaks out. On the basis of these assurances, many airlines have continued operating flights to and from the country. Energy companies have also been quietly informed of the possibility of an impending conflict, allowing them to prepare without triggering public alarm. Notably, Israel's Home Front Command has not received any public-facing instructions so far. This strongly suggests that directives will only be issued once hostilities have already begun, preserving secrecy and preventing the loss of strategic surprise. If this report helped you see the situation on the ground clearly, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to People's TV, where truth has no agenda, And facts speak louder than spin.
Subscribe us for more details.